It's time now for Down on the Corner with Dale Hoffman, North Central Arkansas's premier news talk program. Brought to you by Sears Hometown Store, locally owned and operated right here in Mountain Home.
Good morning, North Central Arkansas and Southern Missouri. It is Friday. Yay! Friday, April 10th. It's Good Friday, 2020 Easter weekend. Good morning, everybody. Welcome down on the corner program. Dale Hoffman, your host, along with David Stroud and Bob Recknell is way down there social distancing.
Hello,
Bob. And so, Good Friday, 2020. This is kind of different, you know.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the difference in gatherings and stuff. It's crazy. I mean, coronavirus affecting everything. But good morning. Welcome down on the corner program. Hope your Friday morning, your Good Friday's off to a good start. I've seen some bright, sunshiny skies out in the front door. It looks pretty nice.
Yes, it is.
It's a little bit cool, but it's going to be.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
As long as the sun is out, right?
The sun is out.
Yes, sir.
Keep smiling. The sun is out.
Yes,
there you
sir.
go. Can't beat it. Welcome down on the corner program, and it's brought to you by your local hometown Sears store at 1029 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. 425-3191. Bob, tell us about Sears.
It's there.
It's there.
They're busy.
Going strong.
Going
And
strong.
open. Yes.
Preventive maintenance plan seems to be the way to go.
Oh, it's good.
Get them on your lawnmowers, your lawn tractor, your zero turn, push mower, your appliances, washer, dryer, refrigerator, stove, not microwave, washer, dryer, refrigerator, stove, freezer.
Freezer.
Go by and see JR and Company. They'll help you out.
Yeah.
Be sure to shop your hometown Sears store for appliances, home entertainment, outdoor equipment, lawn care, tools, whatever it may be. And I'm sure he's got a lot more stuff in there that fits different subject matters, doesn't he?
They have gone to selling Husqvarna
Oh, have they?
riding lawn tractors. Craftsman has made a shift to Lowe's, but Sears Hometowns have gone to Husqvarna.
Wow.
And pretty good machines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I bought a push mower that's probably
good.
the best one I've had in a long time.
Really? What kind of
runs
engines they
really
use
well.
on Husqvarna?
You know, I don't know. I'm not as you know, I'm not an engine guy. As long as you put the oil in it and it runs and it does its job, it doesn't bother me what kind it is.
Right. Works for me.
But anyway, back to Sears.
Yeah.
Wow, they're selling Husqvarna.
That's
pretty
good.
cool.
Nothing wrong
Well,
with
you know, when
Husqvarna.
the big box stores have taken a lot of the name brands and a lot of that shifted around.
Yeah.
You know, at one time, DeWalt was sold by one, and Cobalt was sold by another, and Craftsman was only sold by Sears. And when the big corporate store had made all their changes, that opened up the brand to go into the box stores. And the big difference is, though, if you buy a Craftsman from the big box store,
No warranty.
don't bring it to the Sears Hometown store or any Sears store to get it warranty, because it's not going to happen.
Right. I can understand that.
Yep.
You didn't buy it there.
But then again, your local hometown Sears store is local, family owned and operated.
Folks live over in Franklin, Arkansas. They've got this store and looking to do two more. And
Wow.
good folks.
That's good.
Yep, good
That's
folks.
good.
Very nice.
Once again, your hometown Sears store at 1029 Highway 62 East, right next to Orson's, right in front of Physical Therapy Connection, right behind Wendy's. Great location, easy parking, easy in and out. And they're ready to serve you today. You know, your local Sears store.
Yes, sir. We're in
Local,
full
local,
swing.
local. That's what it's all about. Wow. Love Sears. I tell you what, the old Sears catalog is still sitting over there by Aaron Lindsey. Aaron's going to be our guest here in a few minutes. And got a 1986 Century Celebration catalog. You know, it was, 1886 to 1986. That's the Century Celebration catalog.
Right.
It's interesting to look at
Oh,
all the
yeah.
technology, the big television.
Boy, how
what
you
you
wish
could
you could
get.
still buy some of the stuff you could buy
Exactly.
back then.
Oh, man, yeah.
Houses, cars.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds of automotive stuff in there.
Sears actually had an Allstate car
Really?
built by Henry J. Remember Henry J?
No.
Yeah. Part of
I kind of remember who that
well,
is.
part of Kaiser. You remember Kaiser, don't you?
I've
No.
heard the name,
Yeah.
Kaiser.
Kaiser.
No.
Kaiser Henry J. Anyway, shop your hometown Sears store at 1029 Highway 62 East, 425-3191. If you don't want to go in the store due to social distancing, you can call them and inquire, I'm sure.
Yep,
I'm sure they can help
absolutely.
you. What about online? They get some online help?
They will go online for you.
Yeah.
And help you find what you need. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Once again, your hometown Sears store at 1029 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Call them at 425-3191.
Dale, the way
Yeah.
the Sears, one more, just
Yeah.
real quick, the way the Sears is set up now, the hometown store, Reminds you of the old Izzy Pile True Value.
Oh, that's a good thing.
You walk in to see Mr. Izzy and say, hey, I've got this widget and I can't find it anywhere. Well, let me help you.
There you go.
And he'd spend
There
an
you
hour
go.
if that's what it took to walk through a store and pick and feel. And yeah, that's the kind of feeling you get when you go into the
That's a
hometown
good
store.
thing.
So.
That is that. There you go. That's hometown
Right.
service right there.
Right.
Check them out. Your hometown Sears store, 1029 Highway 62 East. We're enjoying Brewed Awakening Coffee. 3 locations to serve you. 2 you can actually access right now. Of course, the hospital lobby is shut down due to the coronavirus, so nobody in or out unless you have a dire need or emergency. I don't know what the rules are.
It really doesn't have anything to do with dying, but it's a need.
Good point.
Right.
So let's just say go to the drive-thrus for them.
Basically, from what I understand, the rules at the hospital is unless you absolutely have to be there, they're not letting you in.
Okay,
Right.
that's what I thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Bomber Boulevard, and we've got 62 East Plaza for Brewed Awakening Coffee, the best coffee in town. You can drive through at Bomber Boulevard, and you can drive through over by Anytime Fitness and get the best coffee in town. Check out the mochas, the lattes, the frappuccinos, and whatever else. I got a friend in Flippin loves the pumpkin spice. Me, we just got good old coffee right
Yep.
here.
They can have it.
You know, melt your dog tags right here. You know? We change coffee cups about every 3 days. It eats through the bottom of it. No, seriously. Brewed Awakening Coffee, the best coffee in town. If you're not drinking Brewed Awakening, you're just drinking muddy water. Mike and the staff do a great job. Friendly staff at all the locations, and can't beat it. Just the best
Right.
coffee in town. Check them out, Brewed Awakening Coffee. Stop by the studio sometime. Have some coffee with us. We're at 1226 Commerce Drive in Mountain Home.
Proof of insurance is required.
No doubt.
At Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas, bring the morning prayer each and every day. Excuse me. I thought it was getting better when I got back from China. You know. Dirty look.
Yeah, so I know somebody lost their job for that statement right there.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
The only child. I've never. Well, never mind.
Yeah. Moving on.
I've been to the East Coast. That's about it. Anyway, Roller Funeral Homes of Arkansas, bring the morning prayer each and every day. With all our respect, Roller Funeral Homes, not just a motto, it's how they do business on a daily basis. Talk to Brad, Bruce, Charlotte, Chris here in Mountain Home. There's 29 in the state of Arkansas to serve you, one in Memphis, Tennessee. And can't say enough good things about the Roller Funeral Home folks. Went through it 2 years ago with Mom. It was handled.
Yeah, they'll take
It
care
was
of
handled.
everything.
You know, this is what I need, this is what I want, here's the papers, done. It was done.
Yeah.
I mean, just with all our respect, Roller Funeral Homes, that's just how they do it. And so, can't say enough good things about the Roller Funeral Home people. So, with all our respect, Roller Funeral Homes is pausing out for our morning prayer. Heavenly Father, let us not forget what you went through on this day. This was the darkest day in history, the day Jesus Christ was crucified. But we as Christians don't mourn. We celebrate a risen Savior, the one true holy God in Jesus Christ. Lord, well, this Easter will be different in the fact that the churches will be empty, but then so is your grave. Lord, let this Easter be a turning point in our history. Let this Easter start a revival in this country. Lord, I pray you heal our country. It's my prayer today. Amen.
Amen.
Morning prayer brought to you by Roller Funeral Homes. With all our respect, Roller Funeral Homes. Hey, not bad. Morning weather brought to you by the Z Team, Bob and Linda Zadora. For all your real estate needs, 870-405-0793. Take a peek at the White River. How'd the river look today? Ooh, how's that for a picture?
Beautiful.
Take a look at that, Aaron.
There you go.
Woo.
Like to be there right now.
Boy.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Wow. Look
Yeah.
at that picture.
Yeah.
Yes, people, that is real. Cameras mounted in Marion County, Arkansas, looking into Baxter County. The river separates the two counties, looking into Cotter, Arkansas. One of our wonderful little towns. Great folks there in Cotter. The bridge to the left side of the screen, of course, the morning sunrise. Very beautiful shot. That is so beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Wow. Beautiful White River. That's brought to you by the Z Team, Bob and Linda Zadora, for all your real estate needs. And they're getting a lot of folks looking around, you know, here in town, just in Arkansas, Missouri. And we need some listings. We need some listings. So if
Yeah.
you're thinking about saying, now's the time to get listed. So perhaps you're living in Cotter, out by the bridge, perhaps, or maybe in Gassville, maybe right here in Mountain Home, and looking to sell. You need to get a smaller house, larger, whatever it may be. Call the Z Team, 870-405-0793. They're your local real estate professionals. Lindsey's professional stager. They can
Right.
help get things rolling. Of course, we got social distancing right now due to the virus. Get online, give them a call, send them an email, whatever it may be.
Do a virtual tour.
Do a virtual tour, and so they're here to help you.
Right now there are a ton of buyers, and they need listings.
And and so
that's the big thing.
Right here in Arkansas and southern Missouri, the team is ready. You know, they got Reese down around Calico Rock area, folks in Marion County, people in the southern part of Missouri, right here in Ozark County, Missouri. So give them a call, 870-405-0793. Retire to Arkansas.net. The award-winning Z Team brings the morning weather each and every day. Boy, what a difference in temperatures today. 36 in Mountain Home and Harrison, 42 at Batesville, 34 at Salem, 36 at Calico, 38 at Flippin, 43 at Marshall, West Plains at 34. It's going to be warmer in North Dakota. It's only 28 up there. 8 degrees difference. Poplar Bluff at 38, 31 at Springfield. That's crazy. It's springtime, ain't it? Come on. Not much going on the radar. We got some shower activity in South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, southern Alabama, down around New Orleans. Of all places, the desert's getting rain today. Las Vegas, all the way back down to San Diego and Los Angeles, California. Other than that, everything's clear. Arkansas highways are clear at this time, 62, 412 east and west, 65 north and south. Highway 67, 167, going from Little Rock to Batesville or Little Rock to Poplar Bluff. You're in good shape there. Interstates 30, 40, 49, 55, 555 in Arkansas clear at this time, as well as Highway 63 all the way down to the southern part of the state. Missouri looking good. It's going to be clear skies, looks like all afternoon, all day, and all night until the rain moves in, I think, early in the morning, they say. Interstates 49, 35, 70, 44, 55, 57, all in Missouri. I-64 east from East St. Louis, Illinois. In good shape there. And I-70, Vandalia, Effingham, all the way into Indianapolis. No problems there. Dyersburg, Tennessee, clear. Memphis, Jackson, Nashville. Everybody behaving themselves today.
Very nice.
Not bad. I'm going to re-refresh this. See. Freeze advisory. Look at this. We have a freeze advisory from Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, into Illinois, central Illinois, a little bit in southeastern Illinois, southern Indiana, most of Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, and parts of northeast Tennessee. Crazy, 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 crazy. Can't believe that's, oh my goodness. And what's that other? We have a winter storm warning, looks like in Maine and up into Montana. Glad it's spring in Arkansas. Anyway, 7-day forecast today. Sunshine with high of 59. Tonight, 41 degrees. Saturday, 20 to 30% chance in the morning, 70% at night. Easter Sunday, 90% chance of showers. High of 67 degrees. Showers likely Sunday night. Monday, though, bright, sunshiny skies. High of 50, 54 on Tuesday with more rain moving through. Of course, with all the rain, on Fridays we checked the drought monitor. Arkansas in good shape, as well as the state of Missouri. Current pollen index today, 9.8. Ash, birch, and adler. Never heard of, that's no. Alder, A-L-D, I mispronounced it. A-L-D, what's alder?
I don't know.
Alder, birch, and ash. Tomorrow they're predicting 10.9. Oh, coronavirus update. 1,617,576 worldwide cases since its inception, with 96,939 deaths. Recovered 365,789. Of the 1.6 million active cases right now are 1.154 million. Mild cases are 96%. So of the 1.1.5 million, 1.105 are in mild condition. So in other words, 1,105,000 in mild condition, 96%, with only 4% being critical. Of 1,154,848, only 49,184 are critical and serious, which is a good thing. And it's not a good thing they're sick, but it's good that those numbers are low on a worldwide basis. View it by country. United States with 468,895 with 329 new cases in the United States. I don't think they're going to have this updated for the states this early in the morning in the central time zone. See if you see Arkansas whiz by there when I come by.
There it is.
Where?
About in the middle. Up top.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, so far, no new cases reported. It's probably too early in the morning to report any new cases. Right now, 1,146. Total deaths, 21 in the state. Active cases of the 1,146 in Arkansas, 820 are active cases. And so what's that percentage? That would be What would it be? 20% is in pretty good shape, I guess. So anyway, coronavirus update. Be glad when we're done doing that update.
Yes, sir.
And your oil prices today, it's dropped $2.33 a barrel to $22.76. Yeah.
That is not a good thing.
Dropped.
It is for my guest.
It needs to stop.
He wants gas prices to go up.
Well, I know what he's talking about. Is the people that pull it out of the ground, they're losing money.
Well, yeah, but, anyway.
Hurts them.
Morning weather and all the updates brought to you by the Z Team, Bob and Linda Zador. For all your real estate needs, 870-405-0793. They need some listings, so right here in Baxter, Marion, Fulton, Stone, Izard counties, if you're thinking about selling, upgrading, getting a smaller house, whatever it might be.
Internet traffic is through the roof in home searches.
There you go. Give them a call. Talk to them about getting listed today. All right, time for a break. Aaron Lindsey from First Baptist Flippin is our guest today. We've got a Good Friday message for you for Easter, so stick around. We'll be right back. Take a step back in time when going to a barbershop meant more than just getting a haircut. Come into Legionnaire Barbershop today, a unique gentleman's barbershop. Get back in style with 2 experienced licensed barbers who are trained in tonsorial arts and lock removal and are happy to give you a straight razor shave. Legionnaire Barbershop is veteran-owned and operated and located at 1041 Highland Circle, Suite 55 in Mountain Home. For a full, old-fashioned barbershop experience, stop by Legionnaire Barbershop today.
Have you ever noticed every time you wash your car, you end up wetter than the actual car? Next time, run down to Car Care and let the friendly staff put a smile on your face. Car Care of Mountain Home has a variety of services to clean your vehicle's needs, inside and out. From a simple wash and shine to their outstanding detailed services. Located 1525 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. Stop by Car Care Mountain Home today, because driving a clean car always makes you feel good.
Hi, it's Bob Zador of the Z Team at Century 21 Lemac Realty, 1024 Highway 62 East in Mountain Home. As you know, we are all facing some unusual times. Be calm, be smart. The business world of real estate will continue. We may have some delays and some changes that are out of our control, but life will go on, and this too will pass. Give thanks for this wonderful country that we live in. Give thanks for the neighbors that we share. If there's anything we can do to give you a hand, give us a call. 870-405-0793. And check out our website, retiredtoarkansas.net.
When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, it's our desire that you think about finding a way to live your life to the fullest while living with a serious illness. If you ever need help and support, we provide a team of healthcare professionals and volunteers that will support your physical, emotional, and spiritual aspects of life while doing the same for your family and caregivers in the comfort of your own home or wherever you call home. When you think about Hospice of the Ozarks, we hope that you grant us permission to walk on the journey with you. Your not-for-profit option since 1979.
At MSI, they're not just another trash service. They're your friendly, family-owned and operated trash service, providing residential, commercial, and roll-off pickup. MSI offers competitive rates and services 5 counties in the north central Arkansas area. Various dumpster sizes available for commercial and accommodating you with weekly pickup for your convenience. Call Tammy or Kathy today at MSI. MSI Trash Service. Small enough to know you and large enough to service you.
Whether you're a professional.
It's 7:18, almost 7:19. I'm invited Aaron Lindsey, Pastor First Baptist Flippin, to come give us a message for Easter Sunday and Good Friday. Pastor, thank you for being here. Welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Program's all yours. What do you got for us today, sir?
Well, thank you. This is normally a crazy time of year for the Lindsey family. As you know, we have 6 children, Julie and I do, which is keeps us busy at all times, mainly with sports. But that's all shut down at the moment, right? And so things are quiet at our house. Notice I didn't say they're not productive at our house. We are being way more productive than I had hoped to be during this shutdown. We've been cleaning up property, mowing. We've been painting our fence line, burning brush. We rented a stump grinder the other day, and I spent all day doing that. And so we've been making a whole lot of progress on our own personal property, getting to spend that quality time together, right?
Yeah.
But as we've been making improvements on the outside of our house, my wife has been motivated to do the same inside at nighttime. So we don't even get a reprieve when darkness comes, right? And so she's cleaning out closets and putting things up for sale. I got online the other day, and you start seeing things on the marketplace that were in your closet. You know,
hey, that was mine.
And so I had to make it clear the other day that that my baseball cards were off limits, right? And so I want to talk this morning about Jesus, the cross, and my baseball cards.
Okay. This ought to be fun.
Yeah, there you go. And I made it clear to her that those baseball cards were not trash. That some of you can relate to this. That there's some sentimentality to those baseball cards. Not only in my mind might there be some minimal value, but more important, there's a lot of memories in those cards. A lot of time in my life, particularly those late elementary school, early junior high years, were spent in a ball card shop. Certainly all my free money went to those ends. You learned as that age of a child with trading cards a lot of skills. You learned how to research what is a card worth, and you look them up in the Beckett. You learned how to wheel and deal for the first time in your life, right? And that trading becomes an art form that you can carry into adulthood. Now, in an ideal world, all trades would be equal. Is that fair?
Right.
In an ideal world, all trades would be equal, but I think it only takes us one trip to the car lot to figure we don't live in an ideal world, right? All trades are not equal. We speak in trades today, whether it be in the athletic arena with our favorite sports team, or whether it be a car or just stuff that on the radio, of a winner and a loser in a trade, right? I think it was the Buffalo Bills that gave up traded the draft pick that became Patrick Mahomes, right? You think they would do that if they knew what Patrick Mahomes would become?
Wow.
You know. So there's winners and losers to trades. Is that fair?
Sure.
And so we talk about the winner being the person who came up with the best positive outcome in that trade. In order to be a consistent winner in a trading environment, baseball cards or whatever, you have to take advantage of your trading partner in one of two areas. The first one is a lack of knowledge. Maybe they don't know what they have, right? And so you can take advantage of that lack of knowledge. Or secondly, a passion and a love. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Maybe they're so enthusiastic about that car that they're sitting in at the car lot, right, that they're willing to take a bad deal in order to get into that car, right? And so one of those two areas leads to a vulnerability, a weakness that you can take advantage of in a trade. And so this morning I want to, as I'm talking about Jesus, the cross on this Good Friday, I want to talk about trades. And I want to talk about the most ridiculously illogical trade that ever happened. And it didn't happen in the front office of a major league sports team. It didn't happen on the front porch with some trading cards from me. The most ridiculously illogical trade of all time happened on the cross. And I want to just mention one verse from 2 Corinthians. It's the very last verse of chapter 5 in 2 Corinthians, and it says this, that God made him who knew no sin to be sin on our behalf so that we might become the righteousness of God in him. He made him who knew no sin to be sin on our behalf so that we might become righteous on his behalf. It's a ridiculous trade that this happens, that Jesus traded his righteousness and received the guilt of our sin. It doesn't seem like a fair deal, right? We received his righteousness, we received the purity of Christ, and he received our sin and our guilt. The question in response to a passage like that, to me, is why, right? Why would he do that? I said a minute ago that severely lopsided trades happen for one of two reasons. And so I want to talk about those two reasons I mentioned and applying them to this certain case here, that Jesus on our behalf took a pretty bad deal. took my sin, took your sin, and gave me righteousness, right? Why did he do that? Well, is it possible, first of all, that Jesus had a lack of knowledge? And my answer to that's going to be no, right? But is it possible that Jesus had a lack of knowledge? So in our baseball card scenario, maybe my buddy spent all of his money buying cards, packages of cards, right? We all went down to the card shop, or maybe you were at Walmart or something and you bought baseball card packs, and maybe he spent all his money on the card packs and never bought the Beckett that figured out what I had is worth this much.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the value of what he's trading away or what he's trading for. And so my question in that scenario is, did Jesus reveal some form of ignorance in this passage by taking on my sin and giving me something far exceedingly of more value in his righteousness? And a few years ago, I preached a series at our church on the 7 sayings of Jesus on the cross. He says 7 things on the cross. I'm not going to go through all of them. We don't have that long of a program this morning. But most of you know some of the things that Jesus said on the cross. For instance, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, right? Yeah, right. An act of forgiveness and grace and compassion upon those that are even ridiculing and tormenting him at this very moment, right? He says in one of the most touching human moments of his life on the cross is Jesus says, woman, to his mom, woman, behold your son, son, behold your mother. And he entrusts the care of his mother, Mary, to John, his disciple, his most beloved disciple. It's a touching moment on the cross, and caring for his mother on his deathbed, basically here, right? He says, it is finished, talking about the spiritual role for which he came. But in that 7 saying series, there was one saying that I had some problems with. One saying that troubled me. Can you guess which one it was?
Father, was thou forsaken me?
Yeah, my God, why have you forsaken me? And that one always has bugged me. It's always caused a little bit of uneasiness in my soul. What hung me up in that question, and it's a question, why, right? Why have you forsaken me? Is the very first word, that why. Why implies an insufficient knowledge or understanding. When your little kids ask you, Daddy, why? They don't know the answer, right? And so when I'm reading this passage of Jesus talking on the cross, and he asks this why question in talking with his Father, right? Father, my God, why have you forsaken me? It implies an insufficient knowledge or understanding and ignorance of what's going on, or does it? That's what my question was. Why for my whole life has been a question of knowledge, a lack of knowledge. But in this case, I came to the resolution that it does not imply a lack of knowledge. Can I share with you what I found with regards to this passage? In Psalms chapter 22. In Psalms chapter 22, listen to this. Verse 1 of Psalms 22 says this, my God, why have you forsaken me? It's a direct quote that Jesus gives on the cross, right? And so then I'm thinking all of a sudden, hey, man, go back to all our years growing up, and for those of you that grew up in church, and if someone were to say to you, for God so loved the world, and just stop, where do you go? You go to John 3:16, which most of us that have grown up in a church environment probably have learned. We have athletes that, like Tim Tebow, that write it underneath their eyes in football games, right? And we know that for God so loved the world that he gave his only son, right? That whoever believes in him would not perish but have everlasting life. We can finish that if someone just were to get us started. For God so loved the world. And Jesus here on the cross says, my God, why have you forsaken me? A direct quote from Psalms chapter 22 and verse 1. But I want you to see that the rest of this Psalms 22 passage reveals that it's a messianic prophecy about the one who would come. Right? And so this is really cool because it solves this tension of what is Jesus doing on the cross in asking God a question that appears from our experience to be a question of ignorance, right? But when indeed it's not a question of ignorance at all, it's really a moment of revelation. of who Jesus is. And so let me just read some of this. Some of this will hit the spot for you, I think. So he says, my God, why have you forsaken me? Far from my deliverance are the words of my groaning. Oh my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night I have no rest. Yet you're holy. O you who are enthroned upon the praises of Israel, and you, our fathers, trusted. They trusted, and you delivered them. To you they cried out, and they were delivered. In you they trusted, and were not disappointed. And so it's going through this history of Israel, right? But I am a worm and not a man, a reproach of men and despised by the people. All who see me, listen to this, all who see me sneer at me. They separate their lip and they wag their head, saying, commit yourself to the Lord and let him deliver you. Let him rescue you, because he delights in you. Remember what Jesus was going through on the cross, that there's people mocking him, right? If you're the Son of God, if you're the Messiah, then get down off of that cross, right? Maybe God will come and save you at this moment. And so these sneerings and this mockery is all prophesied more than 1,000 years now before Christ. Yet you are he who brought me forth from the womb. You made me trust when upon my mother's breast. Upon you I was cast from birth. You have been God from my mother's womb. Be not far from me, for trouble is near, for there is none to help. Many bulls have surrounded me. Strong bulls of Bashan have encircled me. They open wide their mouth at me, and as a ravening and roaring lion, I am poured out like water, and all my bones are out of joint. What happened to Jesus on the cross? His shoulders come out of socket, right? He's out of joint. My heart is like wax. It's melting within me. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue cleaves to my jaws. What does Jesus say? One of his sayings on the cross is, I thirst. Right? And so my tongue cleaves to my jaws, and you lay me in the dust of earth. For dogs have surrounded me. A band of evildoers encompassed me. Here we go. They pierced my hands and my feet. I can count all my bones. They look and they stare at me. They divide my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots. I mean, this is talking about the piercing of Jesus' hands and feet, the casting of lots for his clothes, which we know, his mouth thirsting, his arms coming out of socket because of hanging his body weight on the cross. And so all of this is being prophesied right here, hundreds upon hundreds of years before the cross ever transpired, and Jesus brings it to the people's attention that have heard this passage before. You know, they're mocking, they're sneering, they're bringing him up as a blasphemer, right? The charges against him. And yet he's hanging there and saying, hey, look, this has all been prophesied. Even the stuff that you're doing is a fulfillment of what has been foretold of the one who would come as the Messiah, right? And this is just like a revelation when it hits me. I'm reading this passage and I'm like, man, this passage that has formerly given me so much anxiety about, man, how do I, as a spiritual leader, as a pastor, help people with this, because I don't even understand it all myself, right? Well, why would Jesus ask why? And here's the answer. It is a quotation from a messianic song that was unfolding before the people's very eyes there at Calvary on Good Friday, right? And what I really think is awesome is that at the very end of that psalm, in Psalm 22, I'll just read the last few verses here. It says this: all the ends of earth will remember and turn to the Lord, and all the families of the nations will worship before you. For the kingdom is the Lord, and he rules over the nations. All the prosperous of the earth will eat and worship, and all those who go down to dust will bow before him. Every knee will one day bow, right?
Yep.
Every nation will be present there, is what it's talking about. Even he who cannot keep his soul alive, posterity will serve him. It will be told of the Lord to the coming generation. That's us, right? Yep. They will come and they will declare his righteousness to a people who were yet to be born, that he has performed it. It is finished, right? And so how cool is that passage right there, man? Like that is telling you that Jesus on the cross is, even in his very last moments before his death, is proclaiming an opportunity for the people to see what he is doing for them in becoming their sacrifice, and offering him this crazy illogical trade of, man, I'm going to give you my righteousness, and I'm sitting here and I have the full ability to get off the cross like you're asking me to do, but it would be to your detriment that I did. Right? And so I say all of this to say, you know, when we go back to this trade scenario, and that I am a recipient, you are a recipient if you've called upon Jesus as Lord and Savior of Christ's righteousness. and he received my guilt for all the junk in my life, all the sin in my life. And I ask myself, is that because of his ignorance? And I say, absolutely not. He knew what was coming. He even goes back and shows you that he knew what was coming. It was unfolding from hundreds upon hundreds of years before. So it's not an ignorance question. And so the second thing that I said is possibly a cause of a illogical trade, a lopsided trade, right, is passion or love. Right? It's that sitting down in the new car in the car lot, like I said, and you know, your wife falls in love and you're thinking, man, I'm in trouble. Right? I know how this is going to go. We're not getting out of this place. And the salesman knows he's got you too, right? Or like in my own case with these ball cards, you know, as I look back through the binders that I have with the cards slotted in the little sleeves, right? I can remember a affinity I had for certain players, a weakness, really. I loved Nolan Ryan, right? I was in Texas at the point in time, and he was finishing up his career with the Rangers, the strikeout king, right? I love Nolan Ryan, 7 no-hitters. I loved Ken Griffey Jr., right? The kid, right? Yeah. And there's certain players like that where if my friends had one of those ball cards, of those players, they knew that they could get a lopsided trade with me because I was going to do whatever I needed to do to secure those cards, right?
Yeah, 100-to-1 trade.
Yeah, there you go. And so there are certain times when your love or your passion will lead you into a giving up of an illogical amount of things that would benefit the other person. And so, here's where I want to land with Jesus is, right, that love drove his sacrifice, not ignorance, but love drove his sacrifice for us. We already mentioned John 3:16. It's exactly what it says there, right? For God so what? So God so loved the world. And so it tells us from the very beginning that this sacrifice was agreed upon because of God's love for us, for his creation. Not that we pulled one over on him. He's initiated it from the beginning. He foretold of it before it ever happened, right?
There you go.
And so there's a passage in Hebrews chapter 12 that says, for the joy set before him that Christ endured the cross. I mean, and I'm thinking, man, how is that going to happen, right? The cross is anything but joyful. For those of you that have seen the Passion of the Christ, it's hard to watch. And we're not experiencing it. We just love the person that's going through all of this stuff for us, right? Yeah. And so we look at what Jesus went through, the scourging, the piercing, the mockery, the false accusations of being a blasphemer, all of that kind of stuff, and we think, man, he endured a whole lot, and I don't see a whole lot that's joyful there. How can Hebrews 12 say, for the joy set before Christ, he endured the cross? And the answer to that is because he was looking a lot further down the road than the moment, right? He was looking to the result of the moment, what it secured for you and for me to be reconciled with him, to be in relationship with him. And so I want you to know, I guess if you're listening, my greatest hope is in that passage that told us initially of this crazily illogical trade where God offers you righteousness, even though you're not and I'm not righteous, right? That God offers you righteousness because of what Jesus did in taking our sin, right? That he calls us in response to that after being saved in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 to become ambassadors for him. Yep. Right? And so he says, be ministers. This is not just talking to us preachers. This is talking to all of us as Christians. Be ministers of reconciliation. And so my greatest hope for anybody watching this morning is, man, this Easter, if you don't know Christ, man, God is offering you this crazily illogical trade to take your sin upon Jesus Christ and to offer you righteousness. And man, it doesn't take a whole lot. It's just a simple prayer, right? Come into my life and save me. God, thank you for giving Jesus my sin and for offering me righteousness. And so, man, that's the hope that I have this morning. That's what I wanted to share with you. I certainly appreciate the opportunity to come on and do so.
Excellent. Thank you. Come up on 7:40, quick break. Go visit with Pastor right after this.
Yeah.
Whether you're a professional landscape contractor or a homeowner in need of quality lawn equipment, Moran's Lawn and Garden has you covered. Moran's is the longest originally owned lawn and garden business in Mountain Home, with a 5,700 square foot warehouse packed full of new current year inventory for all your lawn maintenance needs. Moran stocks a full line of factory parts, and they service everything they sell, offering top names like Grasshopper, Hustler, and Country Clipper. Moran stands behind their quality service with thousands of customers using their products daily. Moran's Lawn and Garden, servicing the entire Twin Lakes area. When you need durable and comfortable hospital scrubs stat, you need the Uniform Shop. The Uniform Shop is the place for top quality uniforms, carrying a great selection of name brands including Carhartt, Vera Bradley, Urbane, and Grey's Anatomy, as well as shoes from Skechers, Nursemates, Softwalk, and Landau, stethoscopes from Littman, blood pressure cuffs, scissors, name tag retractables, compression socks, paramedic VDUs, and Rocky boots. The Uniform Shop also offers customizing embroidery and minor alterations. Let us put you in uniforms. Shop the Uniform Shop at Letty's Mexican Restaurant. We are here to keep you safe during these difficult times, as well as serve you the best Mexican food in the area. That's why we have installed a convenient drive-through window for all your to-go and pickup orders. Give us a call at 870-435-2532 to order your next meal, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and ask us about our daily specials for a low price to feed the whole family. Experience the best in Mexican cuisine. Letty's in Gassville.
Jim Brown Company keeps you cool when it's hot and warm when it's not. A trusted name in the mountain home community, Jim Brown Company provides timely heating and cooling installation and repairs. Our certified technicians incorporate new technology on every job to provide you with the most advanced services. At our metal fabrication shop, we handle projects big and small. We've created everything from commercial ducts to custom designs.
I'd recommend Jim Brown Company to my friends and neighbors. The reason being they have high-tech equipment, their service techs are well qualified for the job that they do, and they also send me a report after all the work is done so I know exactly what my unit's doing.
By visiting our showroom, you can learn all about our heating and cooling products. We'll educate you on your options and help you decide on the right solution. For total comfort at your home or business, choose Jim Brown Company. Quality service with a family name since 1964.
Did you know when you shop at Sears Hometown Stores, you are supporting your local community? That's right. Your local Sears Hometown Store is locally owned and operated by one of your neighbors. Their store offers the best of what Sears has to offer with the top brands and appliances, tools, and lawn and garden. They also offer great financing options that work no matter what you need. Remember to stop by your local Sears Hometown Store today and support a local member of your community.
It's almost 7:43, and I'm going to visit with Aaron Lindsey, pastor First Baptist in Flippin, and I appreciate that message. I never thought of it. It's always good to hear another twist.
Yeah.
And to go back to Psalm 22, I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that certainly helped me through a little bit of a crisis there of faith, and yeah. So to know that Jesus had it in mind all along, is probably something I should have known, but it's good to see it there in writing there in Scripture.
It sure is. I had no idea how many times I've rummaged through the Scripture, and I took a fascination for Old Testament several years ago, and we were talking yesterday, had Jody Hurst and Jesse Green here from First Baptist Mountain Home, and we got to talk about things that are in the Bible. You get in the Old Testament, they use, they weren't dumb people. We think, they slept on rocks and they slept on the grass. When you have buildings of bronze and silver and gold,
Yeah.
They use plumb lines, and where did they get the tools? There's a lot of things that's not...
Pretty amazing.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how did Noah build an ark with bare hands?
Yeah. It took quite a while,
You had no electricity, but they were...
No power tools.
No power tools.
Yep.
Well, then something else, and I'll throw this out at you. The story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the furnace. People say, well, how did they get it 5 times hotter? You're in the desert.
Yeah.
Oil.
Yeah.
Oil. Imagine this. Imagine the furnace is built into the side of a hill, and on top of the mountain is a pipeline. There was nothing saying that they couldn't have an oil pipeline.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm fabricating this stuff up.
Sure.
Think about it. It's possible.
Yeah.
How else can you get it 7 times hotter?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have a chainsaw. You're in the desert, so there's doubtful there's any trees.
Yeah.
You know. It's amazing. Some of the stuff in the Old Testament is pretty fun. Yeah. So Good Friday 2020 and Easter, you're going to be in an empty.
Yeah, this is strange times for all churches, and as we were talking kind of off air, I guess that, some of us as churches and pastors were more or less prepared for this moment. I would say maybe our church on the lighter end of the technology scale maybe was a little less prepared than some that are maybe on TV already on a weekly basis, or some that maybe have a radio broadcast that are now encouraging people to do church in the parking lot and turn the radio into what they would normally listen to on at home on a radio. We certainly didn't have some of those avenues already in play when this social distancing COVID-19 thing happened. And so there's a lot of pastors out there of small to medium-sized churches that are on a learning curve right now, just trying to figure out how to continue to feed their people and at the same time to continue to we do stuff in between Sundays. I know that's kind of a wake-up call to some people, think we don't work except for every 7 days, but just to keep track of the needs of what's going on. Right now we have, like, out in Flippin, a lot of us is industry, right? Boat making and things like that, and that's a novelty item right now. It's a luxury, right? And people right now are more concerned about putting food on the table for their family than buying a new bass boat, right?
Yeah.
And so as some of these companies begin to lay off, like every other industry right now, it leaves people in need, and we want to be sensitive and in tune to that, and as a church being able to help and provide for those needs. And so this is an interesting time in social distancing, not only to try to learn how to get before people to keep them encouraged and in the Word, but also to figure out what's going on in their life, right? And to meet those needs and do so responsively. I did have a friend in Texas this week that lost a 7-year-old daughter to this disease. And so,
Really?
It's nice. It would be nice to be naive and to think, man, this is only a certain aged demographic that is susceptible. But this was a girl that was playing softball just like my little girl, or whatever. So I'm walking that balance right now of, like every other pastor, every other leader is how do you responsibly deal with this situation? And man, I just would implore anybody to pray not only for your spiritual leaders, but our state and our governmental leaders that are got a heavy burden.
It's like a knuckleball coming at you when you're expecting the curveball.
Yeah.
It's just it.
Didn't see it coming. Yeah.
What do you do?
So, it is. People ask, why do you think God's allowed this? At the very least, He's allowed it. I don't want to go into the causation. I don't want to say God caused it, but He's allowed it, right? It's in His permissive will. And I don't know the answer to that for everybody. I certainly do think there's some good coming out of it. So trying to be an optimist, see the glass half full is, man, I have enjoyed watching people get to spend time with their families. I've enjoyed a little bit of humility for our country to say, hey, listen, man, if we've got something, it's because the good Lord blessed us with it, right? We live in a society that wants to say, well, we pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps, and I think God is saying, well, who gave you the strength to pull up those bootstraps, right?
There you go.
And so
something else that's been pointed out, of course, sports. I'm a St. Louis Cardinal baseball fan.
Sure.
I love to tune in to the radio, KTLO AM here, 1240. We'll broadcast the games. Are part of the network and tune in almost every day for the game. That's not here.
Yeah.
Hockey, basketball. I think the PGA is making some other arrangements in the golf, They
moved the Masters back this week to, I believe, November. That's going to be late for Augusta. There's not going to be the azaleas out and all that. That stuff. And
it's going to be different, So right now there's no professional sports.
Yeah.
So Scripture says, "Thou shalt not have any other gods before me."
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got my attention.
Right.
He certainly quieted the Lindsey family down. That will be. Like I said, normally this time of year we'd have we have 5 of our 6 that play golf.
Yeah.
We have Pee Wee basketball that was going on for 2 of our kids still. We have one that's into rodeo stuff. She likes to barrel race and gymnastics, and and 5 of the 6 play baseball or softball. So right now we would have been completely juggling stuff, but God's given us some time to say, hey, listen, maybe you ought to be taking this time to reprioritize life. You know, and I think there's a lot of people that are in that boat.
Right.
When's the last time, I mean, before the virus, the last time that you all sat down at the dinner table at 5:30 or 6?
Yeah.
No phones, no TV, no radio, and sat down and ate.
Right.
We keep the drive-throughs in business normally, so this has been nice in that way. I don't say that to wish it upon anybody, but
I understand what you're saying there.
Yeah.
7:50. Let's take that final break. We'll finish out the show with Aaron Lindsey, Pastor First Baptist Flippin. Be right back.
Driftwood Lanes. Fun happens here.
At Connor Family Funeral Home, our goal is to provide our friends and neighbors with caring, compassionate services at an affordable price. Connor Family is a full-service funeral home that offers a wide range of services to meet your family's needs and customs. We are the first on-site crematory in the area and provide many options to memorialize your loved ones and address all the details for a more personalized service. Where compassion and affordability meet, Connor Family Funeral Home in Mountain Home.
Diatley Dental Care is a family-owned dental practice. Doctors Irvin and Christina Diatley grew up in the Twin Lakes area and are proud to serve the community. With modern treatment methods and state-of-the-art technology, they are dedicated to providing exemplary care to patients of all ages. Our compassionate team consistently receives training above and beyond the standard of care.
We're changing the way you see dentistry.
Come be a part of our dental family.
When I grow up, I want to save lives, like a superhero, and show up when people needed me.
When I grow up, I want to do animations. I want to create characters that can fly.
No matter what it is you want out of life, there is a path to get there.
When I grow up, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I know I want to go to college.
Arkansas State University Mountain Home. Take your first step at asumh.edu.
Take a step back. $7:52, visiting with Aaron Lindsey, pastor of First Baptist Flippin. Appreciate his message this morning for Good Friday, and always learn something new.
Yes, sir.
I'll tell you what. Normal service times, when things get back to normal, your activities at First Baptist Flippin for the folks.
Yeah, we normally have a life group, or maybe some people used to call it Sunday school hour at 9 o'clock, and then our services on Sunday morning begin at 10, an hour later. And we're one of those few churches that still do an evening service on Sunday.
Yeah.
We do a 6 p.m. evening service over there, and then we have all age programming on our midweek stuff, and that starts at 6:30 on Wednesday nights. And so I just don't know when all that will get cranked back up and under what parameters, and so we're just waiting for the word.
My favorite was always the Sunday evening.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
It wasn't as formal. Teasingly, I say this, as special as Easter is, and we were talking about this yesterday, in the 60s, Aaron, wrinkles were fatal.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom would iron every shirt, every pair of pants. She would iron my dad's handkerchiefs. Now, Dad would wear a suit and tie and have the pocket inside.
Absolutely, yeah.
The handkerchief was ironed. And, and Easter was new shoes, new socks, new pants, new shirt, new coat, new tie, and everything itched.
Right. A lot of the churches, I guess tomorrow would be normally the time when they come together for a community event like an Easter egg hunt, or stuff like that. And, I think a lot of us are on hold about stuff like like that. Our youth camps and children's camps during the summer. All of that is kind of up in the air. So it's hard to give any definitive answer right now about what's going on.
Jesse Green was here from First Baptist Mountain Home yesterday, and Super Summer at Ouachitá's canceled.
Yeah.
And that's been going on for, probably 20, 25 years or better.
So it's kind of in limbo, but it'll all work out.
And see, it's thrown leadership. It's thrown y'all a curveball.
It does.
Because keep in mind, the pastor's job is to lead the people and to encourage and help. But who's helping Aaron? Who's helping his wife? You know what I'm saying? The person serving the soup can only serve it for so long until they get hungry. Then you got to feed the server.
Yeah.
So at the same time, pastors, ministers, priests, whatever it may be, wherever you worship, and then you've got your doctors, your nurses, they're just run ragged.
Absolutely.
Right now,
Yeah.
So it's been weird.
You're telling me.
It's been weird.
Yeah.
But we'll recover.
Absolutely.
Hope it never happens again.
Yeah.
Crazy times.
It is.
We got 5 minutes. What we need to talk about? What have we not covered? When you're talking about we're ambassadors for Christ, that was in 2 Corinthians.
Yeah.
Remember RAs?
I was a royal ambassador. As a royal ambassador, I will do my best to become a well-informed, responsible follower of Christ. Right?
Yep.
So there was a lot of good stuff that happened in the church back in those days, and all of us probably enjoyed the little car racing and making the cars. But man, I'm grateful for men, even as a young boy, that poured into our lives. And
those are great memories.
They are.
And we had in the Southern Baptist area of the Metro East area of St. Louis, we had enough RA groups to have baseball teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd play Westview and Belleville, and we'd play Edgemont, Illinois. We had a lot of fun.
I came from a church down in Texas before we moved up here that had a trophy case that was just outside of the sanctuary, and it was filled, almost like a school sanctuary, school trophy case. And I was quickly made aware that was kind of a sacred cow, not to even mess with that. So that trophy case remained. We were no longer competitive in any of those things. I think us old farts got out there and played some softball down there, but it wasn't for trophies anymore. Or at least we never made it that far.
Well, I'll tell you what, all of us Unreal Baptists, we were tough on the field.
So we got to keep our witness out there. That's the hard part, right? Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Easter Sunday coming up, and how are you doing?
Right now we're not live, but we will have a video message that will be downloaded about the time that normal church would start on Sunday, about 10 o'clock. That'll be available on Facebook and on YouTube.
Yep.
You can get to the YouTube link either by putting that in the search query or by going to our church website, and you can just Google FBC Flippin and that'll come up. Or my encouragement would just probably to do that on Facebook. I've encouraged our church members to get on this Sunday and share their testimonies, and so I hope some of those will do that.
That's good.
Man, if you're a believer, and I've got over 1,000 friends on Facebook, right? So give a 5-minute testimony about what Jesus has done in your life, and let your 1,000 friends hear the gospel in your words this week. And so I encourage anybody to do that, not just our church members.
They say the church is empty, but the church has been deployed.
Absolutely.
It's maybe it's a different way of getting people in front of the gospel. This is the millennial. We talk about millennials.
Yeah.
And it's what's the word I'm looking for? This is a totally different era, even from the mid '90s.
Yeah.
I think in 1990, it's still new.
Right.
Yeah.
That's still new. 30
Absolutely.
years.
Yeah.
I think in 1978 was like not that long ago.
A year before I was born, Dale. So
How times have changed.
Yeah. There you go.
How times have changed. Aaron, thank you so much for
Appreciate
being
you
here.
guys
First
having me.
Baptist Flippin. When doors open again, you're always welcome down there.
Absolutely.
I used to come down on Sunday nights occasionally and visit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have some good friends down there. David, what you got?
Well, I would just hope everybody has a great Easter, even if you can't congregate like usual, that you get with your close family members, and not above 10, I guess, but you can still get together and do something.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to get with my wife's sister and brother-in-law and their 2 kids, and there won't it just be 8 of us, but we're still going to.
I already have 8 in my house, so what do you do? You don't invite grandparents?
Right. No more for you.
If the grandparents stop by, we're in violation.
Yeah, that's right. So.
Hey, let's take a look at the White River real quick.
All right.
Brought to you by Bob and Linda Zadora, the Z Team. They need some listings. Give them a call. How's that for a shot? Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
That is gorgeous.
Go out into that world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a bad place to be if you have to
No.
social distance, right?
Exactly.
There you go. You going to fish today, Aaron?
I might make that phone call at some point.
There you go. All right.
Sounds good.
Well, we hope everybody has a happy Easter, Good Friday, Saturday, and then Easter Sunday. You know, it is different. A lot of churches online, Facebook, YouTube, and I'll have several things on the down on the corner page to share. And hope everyone has a happy Easter. We'll be back on Monday. See you then.
Happy Easter. Yeah.